What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Nxtgen 720, and I am back with another video. And before I start today's video, I would like you guys to be so kind. Go check out my brothers over at EPX Games. I did an interview with them. They're making an indie game for the Xbox One. Down below, I'll leave you a link to the actual interview that I did with them. A link to their trailer. And they have a Kickstarter. Like I said, go by and check them out. Real cool down there guys. You know, like I said, they, how you say, quote unquote, bust my cherry. My first interview with someone within the industry. They're working on a Xbox One game called Timelines. Go by and check them out. Like I said, real cool group of characters, man. Check them out. Anyway, on to today's video. Thank you guys, all of you that watched our Big Gamer Small Talk podcast yesterday. We did something new. We did something fresh. Like I said, we always got a saying that we fuck with those that fuck with us. We did a live show, was answering calls live on the air while we were doing our show. The first, I don't know any of the podcasts that do it like that. Like I said, we were the first to do it. And we appreciate it, man, for all those, you know, we had one weirdo, but it is what it is. We take it all in stride. Thank you guys for watching the Big Gamer Small Talk podcast. If you didn't watch it, go by and, you know, the links, you know, go to my channel. They're all there. Me, Crap Gamer, Roy Ward, and the Showstopper. Your boy, Showstopper. Who Flip? We had a great time doing the show. And like I said, we're doing big things. Like I said, I appreciate it. Now, some of you guys are new to my channel. Some of you guys are old on my channel. And a lot of you guys, Nxtgen, what is it with you and Sony? And it's not that I hate Sony. Okay, I don't hate anything. Hate is such a harsh word. I'm a gamer. Okay, at the end of the day, I go to the game. I'm an Xbox dude. Okay, through and through. You see this here? I bleed green. I have the PlayStation 4 just for their exclusives. God of War. I'm a big God of War fan. You know, I think it's probably one of the greatest IPs that come out last generation. God of War 3 was the first one that I played, and I think it might have been my game of last generation. To me, it was epic. So, okay. I'm not what you call a rabid fan. Rabid fanboys are not multi-console owners. Again, don't get it twisted. I am an Xbox dude. But I do not like the lies that Sony do, all the propaganda. Just keep it funky. Like I said today, there's no company that's perfect, but to me, Sony just lies and lies all of the time. They overpromise and underdeliver. Now, I'm older than a lot of you guys, so a lot of you, but you, like I said, guys can go here. So we have YouTube, and everything that I'm saying you can look up for yourself. E3 2000. When Sony showed their iToy, I believe it was the iToy in 2000, the PlayStation iToy, and they had all these ducks in the tub, and the PS2 was supposed to give us Pixar-type graphics, quality graphics. Don't get me wrong. As far as graphics, the PS2 was a big step up from the PlayStation 1, but they didn't give us Pixar-type graphics. What, to me, what put the PS2 over the top was the fact that it was a cheap DVD player, and their biggest competitor, which was the Dreamcast, didn't have a DVD player. Now, with that being said, now I'm going to give you to the almighty PlayStation 3. And someone listen, what I'm saying here is not hearsay. This is straight out of Sony's mouth. And before I even go there, and like I said before, Sony is touting themselves this generation as being the most powerful console, right? This is Sony's word. They're the most powerful console on the planet, right? And don't listen. Again, take you back to my main man, Aaron Greenberg, when it says, why would we give our biggest competitor a 20% advantage? When people were saying it was 50% more powerful. There's some things that are not quite yet known about our system, right? We are the inventors of DirectX. This is what Aaron Greenberg said. Now, listen to this. Everything that Sony says, I kind of tend to question. Even with down to the 18.5 million, all right? Now, just at the end of October, you said that you shipped 13.5. You know, this is not my words, this is Sony's word. In October, you guys said you shipped 13.5. All right. Now, there's no secret that Sony lost November and December in North America. And North America is the biggest market, okay? It is what it is. Between November and December, the Xbox One outsold the PS4 by over 700,000. Now, leading up to November, December, the PlayStation 4 was outplacing the Xbox One. So it may have outsold it, all year long, but within those 2 months, they ate up a lot of Sony's lead. I'll tell you guys again, what you see on VG charts, it's not official. VG charts in the month of November had the Wii U selling 300,000 on Black Friday. The Wii U didn't sell 300,000 for the whole month of November. They sold 244,000 for the whole month of November. But you guys still like to go by and quote these numbers from VG charts. They are not official, okay? There's no secret, again. Like I said, when talking about VG charts, the Xbox 360 outsold the PlayStation 3 worldwide. Combined sales. And namely, just be on the back of North America and the UK. Now, if you guys don't know, the UK is a small Europe. It's not the whole Europe, England, but it's, it's a country inside of Europe, okay? Shit. In the UK, the Xbox 360 outsold the Wii, and also too, the Xbox 360 outsold the Wii here in North America. So, Microsoft gave a lot of numbers. So, like I said, the Xbox 360 outsold the PS3 last generation. If you don't believe me, go by and read the article, the release from Microsoft, okay? A lot of you guys are saying that the Xbox 360 came in last generation. No, it was the Wii, the 360, and then the PS3. See, watch Sony with those numbers. So, so Microsoft gave this little thing, so for the month of November and December, the Xbox One sold 1.2 million units in November. The PlayStation 4 sold a little more than 800,000. So we're not, So actually, the Xbox One outsold it by almost 500,000. But we're just going to say 400,000 for November. And then in December, the Xbox One sold 1.3, actually 1.29, but we're going to say 1.3. And the PlayStation 4 did a little over 1 million. So, give or take. So, between November and December, the Xbox One outsold the PS4 by 700,000 here in North America, okay? Hear me out. Now, if you're saying that, if going by what Sony said, this 18.5 million, why did the Xbox One outsell it in software? Destiny is #1 on the Xbox One and the 360 worldwide. But you guys sold, quote unquote, 18.5 million. That's what I'm saying. Sony, their numbers, they don't add up. And if somebody's not, I'm just being real. It's not that I'm hating on Sony, but you want to see why I distrust everything that Sony says, okay? So if you're saying you sold 18 million units, why doesn't it reflect in your software sales? I'm just saying. Now, just in October, 13.5. So you mean to tell me 5 million units between the end of October to December? Now, he said, well, they won't. How can they lie to investors? Oh, but they did lie to investors before. That's why they got in trouble with it. They got sued. But they said these numbers over at CNET. Now, I don't know if they was maybe trying to include those numbers for China, whatever the case may be, but the China deal fell through for the PlayStation 4. It's still not out there yet, but I digress. Sony also made these claims that the PS4 was to be the most powerful console this generation. Now, going together for what we're learning about the SDK kits, that may not be the case. I'm just saying, you need more than just a powerful GPU to say that to be the most powerful console here. So the PS4 is so powerful, it has yet to give it a AAA exclusive built from the ground up for the PlayStation 4 that's 1080p, 60 frames a second. The Xbox One has one. Now, I'm not talking about some indie game. I'm talking about a true, built from the ground up, a game like Uncharted, which they say they was aiming for 1080p, 60 frames a second. Now they say, you know what? Now the 30 frames is the more, more for the cinematic experience. Now we're not talking about a multi-plat. We're talking about an exclusive, your flagship title. The PS4 was so powerful, like you're saying. Why isn't that Uncharted is 1080p 60 frames a second like you said it was? Mark my words here again. You're not going to see, I'm not talking about some indie game. I'm talking about, and like I said, well, that's the case. Like I said, the Xbox One has a exclusive Forza 5, which is 1080p, locked 60 frames a second on the Xbox One. Well, it's a racer. Well, with your racer, Drive Club is only, and that's just a circuit. That's just 1080p, 30 frames a second. I guarantee you this. And even with this older dev kits, if Forza Horizon 2, if the devs had access to these new dev kits that are out now, Forza Horizon 2 would have been 1080p 60 frames a second. Like, I'm telling you, the Xbox One has some shit for your ass that is coming out. And you guys made fun of me all before. But the reason, like I said, Sony are known pathological liars when it comes to their system. Last generation, E3 2005. I want you to go by and look up the search. I might even do it for you, fine. So you guys can see the kill zone footage. So you can see the Motorstorm footage. How beautiful that was. That Ken Kugaragi took the stage and said, yeah, you're going to need 2 jobs to afford this $600 console. It can do 1080p, 120 frames per second. These were the claims that Sony made last generation, that the PS3 would deliver games at native 1080p, 120 frames per second. Don't believe me, just watch. It says here, Sony Computer Entertainment boss Ken Kugaragi, if you don't know who he is, that is the father of the PlayStation brand, has claimed that the PlayStation 3 will run games at an unprecedented 120 frames per second, according to the Japanese news service. It's an article, he was doing an interview for this newspaper in Japan, right? It says it's in particularly interesting because there isn't actually a TV on the market that can, have a refresh rate of 120 frames per second. I mean, that's old now. Of course, we have something at 240 hertz, 480 hertz. It is what it is. But Sony was, quote unquote, working on its TV. Because, we know that there are no TVs yet, but we want the PlayStation 3 to be ahead of the curve. These are coming out of Sony's mouth that the PlayStation 3 was going to be able to render graphics at native 1080p, 120 frames per second. Well, here's your PlayStation 4. You don't have not one game exclusive. I'm not talking about Resogun. I'm not talking about a remake. I'm talking about an exclusive that's made by Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog. I'm not talking about no multi-plats. I said give me one exclusive that's made by Sony, a retail game. I'm not talking about The Last of Us, a rematch. I'm not talking about a game that's built from the ground up that's 1080p, 60 frames a second. Give me one. Not a multi-plat, ladies and gentlemen. So don't give me a list of give me one exclusive that's made by Sony, Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, whoever the case may be. Okay? Give me one that's 1080p, 60 frames a second. Like I said before, the PlayStation 4 is built for now, not the future. Don't be surprised, again, that you start to see games on the Xbox One that'll be 1080p, 60 frames a second, and 1080p. Well, you know what? Just to keep down the quote-unquote, the bullshit, they may even put it at 60. But look at games like Saint Row. The game drops down to goddamn 19 frames a second. There's no way in hell. Like, come on, the game is like stuttering across the goddamn screen instead of Sony saying, hey, you know what? Lock the goddamn game or use dynamic resolution. When there's a lot going on the screen, drop the resolution so you can keep the frame rate the same. That's the most important thing. Not the resolution, is the frame rate. The slowdown, if you don't know what that is, man. But Sony's so arrogant, got caught up in this hype of this whole 1080p when it's obvious the console can't do it. And you know why? For you guys that said, well, they got this GDDR5 RAM. So the fuck what? Yes, they don't know that GDDR5 RAM does wonders for your GPU. Does wonders. But it also causes latency on your CPU. You know what I mean? And both the Xbox One and the PS4 have anemic CPUs. They have mobile CPU. But the Xbox One CPU, and again, the PS4 CPU can handle 16 ops per cycle. The Xbox One can handle 48 ops per cycle. Fact. You know what I mean? And on top of that, now that you have, quote unquote, DirectX 12, oh my God. Now you have instead of having one core being able to talk to the GPU, all the cores can converse with the GPU. This is going to be huge, ladies and gentlemen. The Xbox One is built for the future, and the PlayStation 4 is built upon lies. Lies. That's their track record. From generation PS2, Pixar graphics, we haven't seen that yet. PlayStation 3, 4D gaming, and 120 frames per second. It all sounds funny, right? But these are not my words, ladies and gentlemen. These are all Sony words. I'll leave the link down below. See what the fuck I'm talking about. The Xbox is the best box. I'm telling you guys, man. You better wake up. Sony is full of shit. That's why I do what I do. Bang, bang.